Hello everybody, welcome to the Ultimate Scouting Show. Thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be predicting the next 5 Super Bowl matchups and the winners. With the Super Bowl coming up this year, I thought this would be a fun exercise to dive into. Obviously, this is just for fun. It is so hard to predict what is going to happen in the NFL, especially this far out. But let me know down below what you think of these matchups, what you think might happen in the NFL over the next 5 years. Let's dive into it right now. In 2024, this will be Super Bowl 58. It will be played in Las Vegas. I think this is probably the easiest to predict because a lot of these teams will be very good right now as well. But for this one, I do have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. With the Eagles, you'll still have Jalen Hurts on his rookie contract. This team is really well constructed right now. I think you're going to be able to keep these core group of players together for the next couple of years. So I definitely think they could be a team that's really competitive in a relatively weak NFC right now. For the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen is always going to give you a chance to really be in this spot. I think they finally get over the hump. This season really kind of showed a lot of the flaws that they have, so they need to address some of those on the offensive line, on the defensive line, perhaps in the secondary as far as their depth goes as well. But I do think that this could be a really fun Super Bowl matchup. I do have the Philadelphia Eagles winning this one 24-21. I just think that this could be a really fun game to watch, and the Eagles get another Super Bowl here in 2024. In 2025, this will be Super Bowl 59. It'll be held in New Orleans. My prediction for this one is the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the San Francisco 49ers. For the Bengals, this would be a really fun story. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase going back to New Orleans to really play for a championship. That'd be a very fun story. This would be the last year on Joe Burrow's rookie contract on that 5th-year option. So really before you have to start paying them crazy amounts of money in Higgins and Burrow and Chase, really right before you have to start paying them, I think they get to the Super Bowl and are really, really competitive in that AFC. For the 49ers, you've got a great head coach in Kyle Shanahan. This defense is so good as well. So I think that this could be a fun matchup to watch. It's a rematch of 2 different Super Bowls in the 1980s, but I do have the Cincinnati Bengals coming up on top on this one, 27-20, and winning their first ever Super Bowl. Moving on, we've got the 2026 Super Bowl. This will be Super Bowl 60. I have Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on the Detroit Lions in this one. This will be so much fun to watch if it does happen. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is always going to keep them very, very competitive. I think Andy Reid will still be there in 3 to 4 years. So I do think that that keeps that core and the floor of this team very high. This could also potentially be Kelsey's last year. He would really kind of be getting up there in age. His contract runs out the year before, so maybe they bring him back on a 1-year deal, really run it back. I do think this would be a very fun story and perhaps Kelsey's last hurrah with the team. And then for the Detroit Lions, I really think this NFC is really wide open. I don't think that any of the absolute best quarterbacks in the NFL are really in the NFC right now. I think it's Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes, all of which are in the AFC, which really leaves the door open in this NFC. I think the Lions have immense young talent right now. That offensive line is really, really good. The defensive line has been awesome, really developing. You've got some fun skill position weapons as well. You really just need that quarterback, and I think over the course of the next 3 years or so, that talent is really going to start to gel. Hopefully you bring in a franchise level quarterback, and this could be a team that is really competing for championships. And that's super exciting to see for a team that just hasn't had a lot of success. I am going to have them winning their first ever Super Bowl because why not? 31-27, the Detroit Lions get their first ever Super Bowl here. I think that'd be so much fun. In 2027 now, this will be Super Bowl 61. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Carolina Panthers. This is just kind of one that's based on potential at this point. It's so hard to predict this far into the future what might happen, but Trevor Lawrence is going to be a very, very good quarterback in the NFL, and I think that that needs to be recognized. I think he is going to keep them as a true Super Bowl contender, even in a very tough AFC where Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow will be for a long time. Lawrence has really proven he is the real deal this season, and I think if you continue to add talent around him, I think him and Doug Peterson work really well together, and so I do think that this could be a very fun team. I think the AFC is going to be one where you don't see a repeat champion, or you see a lot of different teams that could potentially represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, because there's so many good teams, so many good young quarterbacks in that conference right now. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. And then the Carolina Panthers are a team that I think are building things the right way. I like Frank Reich as a hire there. I think they have a young developing offensive line. You've got some fun skill weapons. I think that defense has been really, really good. And maybe, you get a franchise quarterback and he's able to lead this team. This is purely based on prediction, but I do think that potentially they get their franchise level quarterback in this draft. Maybe you trade 2 firsts and go up and get Bryce Young, or maybe you go get CJ Stroud or Will Levis. And I think that could really propel this franchise forward. It's obviously just fully predictive at this point, but I do think that the Panthers have the resources, have the infrastructure, and have an owner that is willing to really go all in. That could make this Panthers team a very fun watch. But I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. And then finally in 2028, this will be Super Bowl 62. I have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Detroit Lions here. 2 teams that have really had some rough patches as franchises, both Lake Erie teams as well. This would be just a very fun matchup, and 2 very likable teams in my opinion as well. Josh Allen, I still expect to be there in 2028. I really think that the Lions have the talent and the infrastructure to be a force in the NFC, where not a lot of teams have that infrastructure right now. So I am actually going to go ahead and give the Bills the win here, 23-20. This would be the Bills' first ever Super Bowl win after 5 straight losses in this scenario. So the Bills fans deserve their win. They get it here. And the Detroit Lions get back to the Super Bowl, which would be so much fun to watch as well. So that is my prediction for the next 5 Super Bowls. Let me know down below which teams you think may make it. Who's going to win it in 2028? Let me know down below. Let me hear your predictions. Please hit that subscribe button down below if you enjoy this kind of content. Hit that like button while you're down there as well. Do lots of NFL draft content, rankings, predictions, all of that good stuff. So that would help me out so much. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much. Bye.